Well, Canada's population is growing at a record pace. New numbers show that we added more than 1 million people in 2023, but that wave was mostly driven by immigration. Domestically, birth rates are plummeting, which some experts say could cripple our economy in the years ahead. So joining us with more this morning is Darrell Bricker. He is the author of Empty Planet, The Shock of Global Population Decline. Good to have you with us.
Good to see you again, Anne-Marie.
Yeah, nice to see you too. In 2022, Canada's total fertility rate hit its lowest number on record at 1.3 births per woman. So 1 year before that, single-child households became the most common type of family. In fact, only child families were the single most common type of family in 2021. 45% of families had one child in this country. So what factors are behind people who are choosing to stop at one child?
It's the point that you just made. It's choosing to only have one child. Basically, what's happened is, not just in Canada, but around the world, we've given up on creating the next generation. People are waiting far longer to start their families, and when they do start their families, they only have one or maybe two, particularly in the Western world. So it's not like it was back at the time of the baby boom. In fact, we've pretty much had a fertility or baby boom collapse.
A baby boom collapse. You know, Canada has largely relied on immigration, you know this, to keep our population growing, even as birth rates fall. But why can't we keep relying on that?
Well, we can't be continuing to rely on that because the places that immigrants are coming from are also going through the same change. So the biggest place for immigrants coming from these days to Canada is India. Well, the Indian birth rate is now below replacement as well and declining. China, its fertility rate is even lower than it is in Canada. The only place in the world that's really producing children at scale these days is Africa, and we're not accepting that many immigrants these days from Africa, although that number is going up. But the traditional places where immigrants are coming from in the modern era, that's basically Asia Pacific, all of those countries are going through a massive fertility decline.
Darrell, what's that at-scale number that you just referenced?
The at-scale number that we need to have coming into this country these days is it's close to 2 million people that we're bringing in. And when you look at the divot that exists in our population as a result of not having kids, it's the only way that our population continues to grow. All of our population growth today is due to two things: people not dying as fast as they used to, and more people coming into the country, far more than historically, coming into the country via immigration.
How much did the pandemic and now the cost of living crisis have in people's choice to have one child?
It was already happening. All the pandemic did was accelerate things. So people tend to have kids when they're feeling good about the future. Nobody's really feeling that great about the future right now. So we're very hesitant to do things that we consider to be risky, like starting families. But even before that, people were just saying, this is not the lifestyle I want. The lifestyle of women especially, the lifestyle of my mother or my grandmother is not going to be my lifestyle.
One of the great reasons I love talking to you, Darrell, is because you look at trends and you let us know sort of ripple effects. I'm going to ask you about that now. In 1966, there were nearly 8 working-age individuals for every senior. Today, that number sits closer to 3. So what can we expect to happen as we inch closer to having fewer working-age people to offset a growing population of seniors?
Well, by the 2030s, it's going to be 2 to 1, and as we get into the 2040s, it's going to be closer to 1 to 1. So keep that in mind. 1 to 1, one person working for every person that's retired. And you look at countries that are already going through this, places like Japan, Italy, Spain, Portugal, we're all very close to getting to the 1 to 1 ratio. They're all suffering big challenges when it comes to paying for the services that older people use, and particularly for pensions.
This is fascinating information to have. Darrell, thanks so much for this conversation. Happy Easter to you.
Same to you.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.